lot of you guys will have a very positive mindset, or else you wouldn't be sat here this evening. But this is just to motivate you more in the direction that you want to go. But there may be some of you in the audience that are maybe a little bit more reserved in that mindset, shall we say. So this talk is really for you, to get you motivated, to get you fired up, and to get you to reach your goals. So let me illustrate a little bit about mindset. When I was a teenager going to school, I was quite shy and I was quite withdrawn. I'm naturally like that. It's my Myers-Briggs. I'm an introvert. So it's not easy for me to get up and talk to an audience. But that was before I learned about NLP, and now I'm a changed woman. But when I was a teenager, I was very shy and I lacked confidence, and I didn't have a lot of self-esteem. And this was for a couple of reasons. I was a middle child, so I don't know if any of you guys have middle child syndrome, but I was one of those. And I also had an older sister, and she was very outgoing and very extroverted, and she was very clever as well, and everybody knew her. And I just happened to be Gina's sister. I was never really Anne, so I didn't have much of an identity. And I struggled at school. I wasn't really clever at school. I was mediocre. But I was always compared to Gina, saying, why can't you be more like your sister? And that has an effect on you after a while. But there was one particular teacher who, an Irish teacher, I used to be very fearful about reading because I was dyslexic. I didn't know I was dyslexic at the time. It wasn't picked up when we were young. And it was something that I just learned about as I became into adulthood. But I was educated by the Sisters of Mercy in Ireland, hence the little accent that Andy picked up on. Well done, Andy. And the Sisters of Mercy weren't very merciful, I have to say. They were actually really horrible. And one of them, my Irish teacher, used to have this technique, and I used to call it the creeping death. Because what she used to do is get somebody at the front to stand up and talk, read in Irish. I couldn't even read in English, let alone read in Irish. It was really difficult. And then she would go around the room one by one. And I knew that she was getting nearer and nearer to my turn. I'd always sit at the back in the vain hope that she might not see me and she might skip me. But as it got nearer and nearer to my turn, I used to become very anxious. And you know all those signs of physiology that comes over you. Your hands start sweating and your mouth starts getting really dry and your heart starts beating. And by the time she gets to you, you stand up and you're an absolute wreck. So there I was. I stood up. I was stuttering and stammering and I just couldn't get my words out. And she said to me, "Shig shia Sonia," which means sit down, Anne. And then she said, "You Amadon," which means fool in Irish, or stupid. And that really crushed me. I just felt such shame. And that really began a mindset for me where I formed a negative belief about myself, that I couldn't talk in public and that I couldn't read if I was asked to read. And I carried that with me for 25 years. Can you imagine? I kept trying to dodge and escape anywhere where I'd have to read in public or to do a presentation. So that was me before NLP.